All right, guys, check out this beauty. What a beautiful truck. A 1996 Peterbilt 379 with a Caterpillar engine. A lot of you guys love these trucks. A lot of you guys are wowed by these trucks, but I have to say that I couldn't be more disappointed in this truck. And I'll get into this video, I'll get into the stats. So in today's video, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be comparing this truck to 3 other models of trucks. So I'm gonna be comparing this 1996 Peterbilt. I mean, it looks beautiful, it's nice, I mean, it's old. A lot of you guys like these older unit trucks. I have done a video in the past about old trucks and why I feel that they're 100% garbage. And the reasons in my last video, I'm gonna go over them again today in this video. I received a lot of pushback from drivers that don't see eye to eye the way I do, which is fine. But I'm here just to show you the stats. I'm here just to show you the numbers, and then you guys can decide what to do with these figures, all right? I had this conversation in detail with Brian. We have debated on it for about 25 minutes on camera. And I was able to convince him to go into a Cascadia, and I think you guys all know the results. And if you don't know the results, then why don't you look at this video over here? It's Brian's 30-day and 60-day review of the Cascadia. So what I'm gonna be doing today, I'm gonna be going over the stats for this 1996 Peterbilt. I'm gonna be going over his fuel consumption, and then I'm gonna compare it to a Volvo. I'm gonna compare it to a Freightliner, and guess what? I'm also gonna be comparing it to a Kenworth with a Paccar engine. So let's see how this driver does. I just want you to have the facts in front of you before you guys all start saying that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and I don't know this, and I don't know that. Why don't you look at the stats first, and it is gonna blow you away of the difference and how much money this guy's spending more than the Volvos, the Freightliners, and the Kenworth. So let's get to it. I won't take too much of your time because I can feel you guys already writing the comments. All right, so let's compare it to 2 drivers in our fleet that are driving the 2021 Volvos. So the 2021 Volvos are getting 8.9 miles per gallon to 8.8 miles per gallon. And I've done this comparison for the month of August 2021. So here we go with the Volvos, they're getting 8.9 miles per gallon. I've taken 2 of the Freightliner Cascadias. I have one Cascadia 2021 that's getting 8.6 miles per gallon and another at 8.5 miles per gallon. And then I took a Kenworth. So we in our fleet do not have Kenworth. This is an owner operator who's currently doing 8.4 miles per gallon for that month. For those of you that want to see how many miles they drove, it's right over here. So the Volvos, they drove between 10 to 11,000 miles. The 2 Freightliner Cascadias drove, one of them drove 8,000 miles, the other one drove 13,000 miles. And then we have unit 232, the Kenworth, that drove 13,800 miles, so at 8.4 miles per gallon. And then we have our Peterbilt. So let's get the stats off our Peterbilt, just so you guys all can see what the stats are for this Peterbilt in the month of August. So our Peterbilt unit number 180, which is this beautiful red truck that you just saw. Let's have a look at that truck again. I think you guys need to see it again. I can hear you all saying, wow, how nice it is. But now let's get into his stats. What is this driver producing? Now, this driver is getting 6.7 miles per gallon. So now let's go over this beautiful sheet that I've made. So I've made an Excel sheet and I want you to see this, okay? Because this is the jaw-dropping data that you want to see. If you're a nerd like me, you want to see the difference. Here is the difference planted in front of your face. So whether you're a Canadian driver or a US driver, I've done it for both. Column number, this 4th column over here is US funds, and here is the Canadian funds. So let's go with the Volvo. So the Volvo drove at 8.8 miles per gallon, and we'll take the average miles in a month at 11,500 miles. And the amount of gallons that it consumed is 1,306 gallons. The national average today, which I took, was about $3.40 per gallon US. So this column right here is the US gallon, how much money he spent in US dollars, and then the last column is how much money he spent in Canadian dollars. So here's the Volvo, here's the Cascadia, here's the Kenworth. So one truck drove at 8.8, 8.6, and 8.4. And over here is how many gallons they consumed. Well, guess what? I did the exact same thing for this beautiful red truck, this 1996 Peterbilt. and which is getting 6.7 miles per gallon. So if this driver drives 11,500 miles, he consumes 1,913 gallons. Again, 1,913 gallons. So he spends $6,500 on fuel in the US, and we convert that into Canadian funds, it's $8,455 Canadian. All right, so these beautiful next three lines that I did is basically I made a graph of how much money are you losing, is this driver losing when you compare it to the Volvo, how much money is he losing when you compare it to the Cascadia, and then how much money is this driver losing when we compare it to the Kenworth. So if in US dollars, this driver is losing $2,000, he's spending more on fuel. If you compare it to the Volvo, he's spending $1,958 per month. He's wasting more on fuel when you compare it to the Cascadia, and he's spending $1,846 when you compare it to the Kenworth. Now, if you convert that into Canadian funds, we have these funds over here. So you have $2,682 Canadian, $2,500 and $2,400. So this driver, I mean, if you compare this driver into anyone that's sitting in our Cascadias, he's wasting $2,500 per month more on fuel. Do you know what I can do with $2,500 per month? So not only did I want to show you the stats of what you lose per month, but I went even one step further. I said, you know what in the world does this driver lose per year? Just so you guys can see how much money this guy's spending more per month on fuel. So let's compare it. So the amount of money he loses per year on fuel is about $24,000 when you compare it to the Volvo, about $23,000 US when you compare it to the Cascadia, and about $22,000 US when you compare it to the Kenworth. Now, what does that equate to in Canadian dollars? We're talking about between $28,000 to $32,000 per year is what this driver is spending more on fuel. These two drivers are doing the exact same work, going to the exact same place, driving the exact same miles. One driver spends $25,000 more on fuel. The other one gets to take it home and chill with his wife and kids and spend it on the luxuries of life. Is it worth it to drive this Peterbilt? You make the comments, put it down below. Only you can decide. I brought the facts in front of you. I showed you what this guy is making. I showed you how much more he's spending on fuel. I would like to see you guys justify it. Is it more comfortable? Absolutely not. These new trucks, any one of them, whether the Volvo, the Kenworth, or the Freightliner Cascadia, I can assure you are a lot more comfortable than this 1996 Peterbilt. The only thing you guys have going for you is the EGR. You know, the less sensors and and it doesn't have EGR. Is that worth $2,500 a month? Absolutely not. I can tell you that the 2021s and the 2022s, whether it's the Volvo, whether it's the Kenworth, whether it's the Freightliner Cascadia, they don't have a quarter as much as problems as they used to have with their EGR problems and all these sensor problems that you guys keep talking about. These are things that they fixed a long time ago. There are these lemons that you know, that come up once in a while that are constantly going into the shops, but I can assure you that, I mean, I personally think we have a whole fleet of them. I see this all the time. Losing $25,000 every single year, that's a huge hit, okay, on fuel. Who are we making richer? Who are we making richer? I mean, where's all this fuel coming from, right? Are we benefiting our own country? Absolutely not. At the end of the day, the facts are in front of your face, and I want to hear you justify why in the world do people drive these old pieces of junk. So you can see in these videos that I'm very passionate about what I do. I talk about it, and it hurts me to see people spending so much money on fuel when they really shouldn't be. So if you like my nerdy videos, subscribe to my channel. Okay, if you like these stats, subscribe to the channel. Right now, there's 21% of you that are subscribed to the channel. 79% of you are not subscribed to the channel. If you're enjoying these videos, if you're enjoying these stats, if you're enjoying all these number crunching that I do, give it a thumbs up, put a comment down below. And I'm Ronen, R-O-N-E-N. I'm Ronen, and I'll catch you in the next one.